All right, everyone, I want us to look at another example of simplifying some expressions involving square roots. So far, we've really been looking at these radical expressions isolated by themselves, but that's not how we will always encounter them. We'll often encounter them in situations like this, where they come out of some kind of scientific formula. For example, this is like the kind of answer we're going to be getting out of this thing we are going to look at called the quadratic formula. And we need to be able to simplify our answers that come out of this formula, and part of that process, of course, involves simplifying our roots. So here we want to simplify 9 plus or minus the square root of 72 over 3. And so the only thing we can really work with to get started is that square root of 72. We want to break that up as the square root of some perfect square factor of 72, along with whatever leftover or irreducible factors may remain. And so what is the largest perfect square that 72 is divisible by? Well, that's going to be 36. And what do we have to multiply 36 by to get 72? Well, that'll be 2. And we can't forget about that factor of 3 in the denominator. We're going to have to be very careful with that as we progress through this problem. So going from our starting line to our next line, we've just broken apart our square root of 72. And now we can reduce some of these expressions. So the only thing we're really reducing right now is the square root of 36. The square root of 36 is equal to 6. So this allows us to rewrite our expression as 9 plus or minus now 6 times the square root of 2, still all over 3. Well, we have simplified the square root part of this expression, right? We've taken out all those now back to perfect square factors, and we don't have any radicals in our denominator, but we're not quite done yet because we still have some common factors that we can divide and cancel out. What I mean by that is everything in the numerator has at least one factor of 3. So we can use some of those properties of fractions to also think about or view this as 9 over 3 plus or minus 6 times the square root of 2 over 3. Really important to note and remember that when we are dividing a sum or difference in the numerator, we have to apply that denominator to each term in the numerator. So we have to divide both the first piece and the second piece by 3 in this case. Well, if we do that, we will finally finish this problem off. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Then we have plus or minus 6 times the square root of 2 divided by 3. We really just ignore that square root of 2 and focus on the other part. 6 over 3 is equal to 2. And so our final answer looks like 3 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 2.